Welcome back to That's in the Bible, the show where I don't know what I'm talking about, and the funniest jokes are scripted by somebody else. No, that wasn't scripted. I'm not reading off of a script. This is obviously the truth. Okay, dude, get rid of this crap. Okay, write a new one right now, and give me some ice cream. Okay, that's upside down. Alright, take two. So today, we're doing our own discount version of 100 Ways to Die. Wasn't it 1,000 Ways to Die? We're doing our own discount version of multiple ways to die, with only like 5 or so ways, and they're all really pathetic. And not quite as strange. Actually, I don't know. Some of them are pretty strange. Let's review from last week as a start to this episode. You remember Sodom and Gomorrah, which were disgusting in God's sight and the sight of anyone sane. So he sent angels to investigate, and the verdict was nuke it. Yeah, legitimately nuked it. The description in the Bible is actually pretty much exactly what the description for a nuclear bomb is. So they straight up nuked Sodom and Gomorrah. Let's start with something new. In the book of Esther, wasn't there VeggieTales about this too? I remember this one. Vaguely. I think I only saw it once. In the book of Esther, the whole story is that Haman, advisor to the king of Persia, was mad that Mordecai, another advisor, refused to bow to him for religious reasons and plotted to get all the Jews in Persia killed. Every single one of them. Esther, Mordecai's cousin, was chosen as the queen, and knowing about Haman's plot, asked the king to stop it from happening. Not wanting his queen to be murdered, the king was upset and decided that that was a good idea to stop the plot of murdering all the Jews. And Haman had been building his own like personal gallows by his house because he was just like super hyped to hang Mordecai. Like he was looking forward to that. He had it marked on his calendar and everything. He's gonna do it himself right next to his own house. But he found out that Esther was talking to the king about the whole plot and started begging Esther for his life. And the king found Haman. He was like kneeled down begging Esther for his life, and he misunderstood the situation rather heavily and assumed that Haman was attempting to violate Esther. So he was like, "Guards! Kill that man immediately, no questions, death, murder him straight up." And the guards were, "Yes, sir," and he was hanged in the gallows right next to his house. Sidebar real quick. Why does every prophet have Eli in their name, whether it's Eli, Elijah, Elisha? Samuel, Eli.
Not Deborah.
I got nothing for Deborah. Well, Eli was a priest of God, and his sons were technically also priests of God, but they didn't act like it. They were, they ate the offerings, they misused the equipment, and generally were just very bad people. And God said he was going to punish the house of Eli, and he did. The Ark of the Covenant was captured, and when it was, both of Eli's sons were killed. A messenger comes to tell Eli that this happened, and he fell back in shock. He was so shocked, he literally fell backwards. Unfortunately for him, there were stairs behind him, so he fell backwards, fell down the stairs, and died. Abimelech was king of Israel for about 3 years. Then God was not happy with him and caused him to get into why not just kill the dude? God was so unhappy with him, he caused him to get into conflict with other leaders. So they did battle. You can, this is Judges 8 and 9, read that if you really care, but that's not important. What really matters here is Abimelech, during battle, besieges this tower, and everybody was hiding inside the tower. And then this lady, just this random lady, grabs a millstone and threw it out the window at him, like her home defense sort of thing. It lands on his head and broke his skull. But he wasn't quite dead. No, he was alive for the humiliation of being cracked in the head by some random lady inside a tower. So he looks over at his armor bearer and was like, please kill me. I need to be killed by somebody other than a random lady throwing millstones out of a tower. And so he did. And he was... he got killed by his armor bearer to spare the humiliation of getting killed by some random lady. And here we go, Death by Mundane Equipment, the title card. So, Deborah, speaking of Deborah, so Deborah was one of the judges of Israel. At this time, they were at war against a general named Sisera. Now, Deborah had said to go and win the fight, gave a prophecy, etc., all that. But General Barak wasn't confident and said, won't you come with me as the judge of Israel? And Deborah said, sure, I'll come with you, but because you have no confidence, you get no glory. Sisera will be delivered to you by a woman. So Barak went to battle with Sisera and creamed him. Just complete annihilation. Sisera ran and found this tent where he could lay down. And Jael, the lady who owned the tent, realized that the enemy general was laying down in her tent. So she let him do that, and then waited for him to go to sleep, and then took a tent peg and stabbed him through the head. And there you go. That was the end of that battle. That dude was delivered by a woman. So there you go. Those are all some pretty pathetic ways to die. Certainly not going out in a blaze of glory, like being nuked after doing unspeakable things, or burning yourself and the entire palace down with you. Tune in next time to hear about some bad decision making. Man fights the sea. Not Roman Emperor Caligula. The OG Caligula. Before Caligula attacked the sea, this guy attacked the sea. You'll see next week. That was the stupidest thing I've ever said on camera.